Good morning. There are so many choices that we have to make in our lives. Choices between things, choices that have long-term effects, choices that are immediate in their nature, in that things will change right away. And often the decisions that we need to make are ones that we base on what feels right, what feels safe, what I feel I can actually manage at the moment. And when we talk about decision making, we also talk about something that is very different called discernment. So, what is discernment really? Is it something that is just done in relationship to God, or is there a deeper purpose? Now, we're going to try and do this in 5 minutes, right? So it's not going to be comprehensive. But this idea that when we are discerning something larger, something that we want to include God in, or that we feel is prompted by God, that discernment is not just a decision. It's not just a logical choice. And we wouldn't make that choice or that decision or that discernment in the same way as we would make other choices. So I wouldn't discern my future or a large decision or a choice that I have to make for my life in the same way that I would decide, do I have a cheeseburger or a regular burger, right? It's a different process. So discernment is something that we take to God in prayer and we weigh. And actually, I have been doing a lot of discerning in my own life recently, in that I've made some life decisions, and many of you know that I'm changing my job beginning in June. But this discernment, a friend of mine said that when you're discerning, Monique, and I thought it was so smart, so wise, don't choose between two jobs or two options. Discern carefully this one option just for its own sake, just purely for its own sake in your life. So that when you are making that choice, it is not about, do I like this better? Does this one tickle my fancy more? Is this one resonate more? It's purely looking at the one option in front of you. We want to make sure that what we are choosing is something that God wants for us too. Not that there's a mysterious kind of hidden will of God that we only find out like it's pinned to a bulletin board or something like, hey, what's the will of God? Oh, there it is. No, it's not that. It's that the will of God for us is always one that brings us new life and intimacy with God. So it isn't just about what's helpful to other people. Would this discernment, this choice, this life decision help others? It's meant to be focused on ourselves and God. How does this choice then reflect a greater opportunity for closeness to the divine? And then the discernment is, what sparks the most life in us? Is there something that brings me great happiness in anticipation of that? Or is there greater anxiety related to this choice? Is it something that I find myself sweating a little bit more or really working it over in my mind more? Is there an opportunity in this option where I feel that there's a rightness, there's a peacefulness, things fit better, they sit better with us? So discernment is holy. You're walking on sacred ground inside your heart and soul when you are discerning. God is trying to cut through all the distractions in our life and make something clear that will allow us to bond more closely to this God who loves us so deeply. Discernment should not be done under duress. You shouldn't put a ticking clock at the end of it. Take your options, take this choice to God in prayer, and allow God to reveal slowly, over time, the option that would most result in closeness between the two of you, and that will bring the most joy and peace.